Welcome to Facts Time. To get more videos, please subscribe to our channel, and press bell icon to get latest notifications.
10 amazing mysterious places in the world.
Number 10.
Moraine Lake. Situated just 9 miles or 14 kilometers outside the village of Lake Louise in Banff National Parks. In view of the Rocky Mountains is Moraine Lake, fed by glaciers. This rock flower blue lake was once featured on the Canadian $20 bill, earning one view the moniker the $20 view. Among the country's most photographed locations, the lake is unsurprisingly popular with hikers. It crests in late June, but visitors can take in the Rockies or their reflection on Moraine Lake nearly year-round. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Number 9.
Island of the Dolls. Island of the Dolls, also known as Isla de las Monicas. As you navigate this creepy island just south of Mexico City, thousands of small unblinking eyes watch your passage. Oh my god, the island is actually man-made, dating all the way back to the floating gardens of Aztec times, as legend has it owner Julian Santana Barrera found a little drowned girl in the canal and a doll floating close by, which he hung in a tree as a sign of respect. Shortly following this act, he started to hear whispers, footsteps and screams following him in the dark. Santana Barrera spent the next half-century hanging dolls to pacify the girl's spirit. He found the dolls in the canals and in the trash. He started hanging them up to protect him and to try to scare away the spirit of the girl. When he died in 2001, his body was eerily found in the same spot he'd found the drowned girl.
Number 8.
Magnetic Hill. Whether you are an avid traveler or a hardcore rider who loves to explore new trails on a bike, Ladakh in India is the name you will be familiar with, and since this tourist destination has a distinct hype amongst travelers, you must have also heard about the magnetic hills known to pull the vehicles this magnificent hill lies on. The way from Srinagar to Leh Highway, believe it or not, this small stretch of magnetic hill perfectly defines the phenomenon of gravity. To confirm the fact, you can turn off your car and while on neutral you will realize that your car is moving without your efforts at the speed of 12.5 miles per hour. However, there are many stories related to Magnetic Hill. Some are superstitious. Interesting, isn't it?
Number 7.
The stony Tunguska River, also known as the Potcommon-Diet and Esker River, in 1908, an explosion 1,000 times greater than the nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima tore through the air over Siberia. Witnesses reported a column of bluish light as the sky seemed to split in half and catch fire. It's called the Tunguska Event, and it was a comet or a meteor or something like that. The blast sent a shockwave that knocked people off their feet and flattened 770 square miles of forest, toppling an estimated 80 million trees. When the first expedition arrived to investigate, native guides would not enter the impact zone, fearing people. They called the valley men. Scientific consensus attributes the blast to the explosion of a meteorite in midair, leading some to blame natural gas or even a collision with alien spacecraft. Fatigue Alpha Santa Ana's explosion gives and moose more.
Number 6. The Boiling River. Deep in the Amazon lies a river 4 miles long, and unlike any other on Earth, the Shenitim fishku is so hot that any animal that steps into it gets boiled alive. When a hapless creature wanders in, the eyes cook first, melting in its skull. Soon the animal is in too much pain to keep swimming to safety. Water fills its mouth and lungs and it is cooked from the inside out. The river gets as hot as 91 degrees Celsius, 196 degrees Fahrenheit, and scientists aren't completely sure why. Normally water that gets this hot is fed by a volcano, but this one is 700 kilometers removed from the nearest one. There is a theory, though scientists believe, that boiling hot water from under the earth cracks through fault lines and heats up the river, making the water a geothermal system, unlike any other on Earth. Number 5. The Bridge of Overtunes. Scotland, United Kingdom. This bridge, which leads to a 19th century estate in Scotland and overlooks the River Clyde, has become bizarrely infamous for the high rate of apparent canine suicides off the bridge since the 1950s. Approximately one dog every year, has left from the bridge plummeting 50 feet through the waters below. Those dogs that do survive if taken back to the bridge. Number 4.
Never-ending storm in Venezuela. Never-ending lightning storm in western Venezuela over the Catatumbo River. There is a storm that never ceases. Starting at 7 p.m. every night, lightning crashes over the water for 10 hours every night, 216 nights each year. Nobody knows for sure why it happens. Up until recently, the leading theory was that it had something to do with uranium in the bedrock. Although scientists are starting to doubt it today, the leading theory is a complicated one. It posits that the shape of the mountains caused warm trade winds to collide with cold air from the Andes. That collision is then fueled by the rapidly evaporating water below and methane from a nearby oil field. Nobody actually knows for sure though why it happens. Everything about it is mysterious, including one moment in 2010 when it inexplicably stopped. One day the storm just died down without explanation and seemed for a while to be over. Then after 6 weeks of silence, it sparked up again and has been raging ever since.
Number 3.
Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Triangle might help if mystery had a face, spanning the vast southeastern reaches of the Alaskan wilderness up to its mountain ranges. An unusual number of hikers, boats and planes vanish here without a trace. In fact, the state of Alaska has not only twice the American national average of people reported missing, but also the lowest statistics for people found. Could we talk about this? Is the unforgiving weather, wild animals, immense uncharted terrain, or something more sinister? The indigenous Tlingit people tell stories of a shape-shifting being called Kushkaka, meaning land otter, man who mimics the screams of children to lure unwary travelers to their deaths. Others blame Bigfoot or propose that the area is a vile vortex like the Bermuda Triangle linked to electromagnetic aberrations. To reduce it to simplified terms, the weather was just plain rotten.
Number 2.
The Stonehenge. Circle of Wiltshire, England, United Kingdom. Stonehenge is famous due to its massive size, with the stones forming the structure measuring up to 30 feet in height and 50 tons of weight. The stones are particularly interesting for researchers because they were imported from great distances, most likely Wales. It is today theorized that such great lengths were taken to bring these stones, because of the peculiar reading quality when strong. The means of transporting the stones constructing the henge for its purpose is truly a mystery.
Number 1.
Turkmenistan Gates of Hell. Turkmenistan Gates of Hell. The Devarsi crater. Turkmenistan, better known as the Gates of Hell. This eerie cavern in the Karakum Desert has been on fire for more than 40 years. It was discovered in 1971 by Soviet geologists, when the ground beneath their drilling rigs suddenly collapsed, leaving a 230-foot wide hole as the huge crater was filled with potentially poisonous natural gas. The decision was made to set it alight. Scientists expected it to burn itself out within a few days, but it didn't. It's been more than 40 years ago, and the fire is still as fierce today as it ever was.